Hello and welcome to Mike's Garage. Weather's finally changed a little and we actually closed the garage door. Mike and I are working inside. The dog is on the floor. I'm telling you, it's starting to get cold. That's such a lie. It's cooled off and it's real pleasant now. And I'm sorry you guys that are in Canada freezing and all that, so probably in Maine and places like that. I'm sorry. But it's really nice, and I've been riding my bike a lot. Okay, moving right along. First thing I want to be sure and say is if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. And then if you tap on the notification bell, then what will happen is you'll be notified every time we add a new video to the site. Okay. One of the things that I have not quite completed yet in this job with getting everything on this front end to work, besides the shackle that I have not cut off and re-welded and all that sort of thing yet, is my front wheel. I laced it right down the middle like I would for any other stock Harley or most stock Harleys. And in this case, using this early front end, these early rockers, and a later front brake, and the whole combination of things I have basically took this front wheel out of the center. I want it in the center. So if I take my little vernier caliper and I measure it from this leg to the flat side of that rim is 3 inches and 65 thousandths. Wow. Now we go over to this side, and it's going to be much more. From 3 inches and 65 thousandths, we went up to 3 inches 3 inches and 600 thousandths. Basically, this thing is way off center, and here's how much it's off center. If you can show that with a camera, Mike, it amounts to about 1 inch. So what we're going to show is the simple way to do that. And it really is simple. I hope I can make it look as simple as it is. This wheel, nice wheel, I build it, I put it down the center, is off-centered. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift this rim right over on the hub. Now, a lot of motorcycles actually have their wheels are offset rather than in the middle of the hub, which puts the wheel in the middle of the motorcycle. If that makes sense, if I'm saying it right. So in this case, we have it off center, and we're just going to pull it right back into center, onto center with its own spokes. So instead of talking about it, another thing I'd like to add on that, I'm sorry, but we need to add this one fact. I just did the math and went through it very quickly. The reason I went through it so quickly is because it doesn't matter. Until we get it right down to the final adjustment, where Harley recommends runout is allowable up to 30 thousandths, we like to get them in better than that. But until we get down to that final measurement, it doesn't matter. We know that it's way this way. I don't care how much it is or is not. It's quite a bit off. Again, looks like almost 1 inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to release spokes on this side and then tighten them on that side. So these little spoke nipples have 4 flats on each one. So I'm going to loosen each one of them on this side 2 flats. 1, 2. Now I started at the valve hole. So I know, because this is a 40-spoke wheel, there's 20 spokes on this side, 20 spokes on that side. So I loosened the first one, 2 flats. Now I'm going to do the next one, 2 flats. 1, 2. 1, 2. Notice it's every other spoke. 1, 2. 1. If it's a little monotonous, I apologize. 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Everybody tired of hearing me say 1, 2? I have to do that so that I don't get lost. 2. 1, 2. We got to be getting close to the valve hole here pretty soon. Or I just got notified that we're halfway. All right. Just remember, you can only walk into the forest halfway. The other half you're walking out. 1, 2. Okay. Now, if we go, we should only have a few more here. Now, the only reason I'm going through this whole operation, which is probably a little boring to watch, is so that you can actually see the difference. Because we've gone all the way around now. That's 20 of them. And we've loosened each one 2 flats. Okay, now we're going to bring this thing up and we're going to start at the valve hole. And we're going to tighten each one 2 flats. 1, 2. 1, 2. We're tightening them exactly the amount that we loosened the other side. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. This seems real labor intensive, but it isn't. I mean, if I screw the whole thing up, it really doesn't matter. It's not that hard to correct. And I think we ought to be getting probably halfway now anyway. I think we're halfway now. I think the dog's getting bored watching. Okay. There it is. Okay. Yeah, we're getting there. And we get this part done, then about all we're going to have left on this, making this front end work, is going to be that brake shackle. And I just got notified we're about 3/4 there. And we'll see how much that really moved it over. This is a 19. I don't do 19s very often. It's not that I don't like them, it's just I usually do 21s, and on this bike, I really wanted a 19. Real genuine early style bobber. Okay. That's 20 in each direction. Now, let's see where we're at. We'll stick this thing on here. Okay. Now we'll take it over to the other side. We've moved it quite a bit. I'd say we've moved it not quite half an inch yet, maybe 3/8 of an inch. So what we're going to do is we'll do the same thing again. Now, I don't think I need to do the same operation all evening for everyone to understand it. I think you got it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 flats again on each side. When I get all done with this thing and I'm satisfied that it's down the middle, I will take it off, put it back in the truing stand, make sure it's really on. I'm not just going to assume that because I did it like this, that it's back into being as true as it was before I started. So that's what I'm going to do. The other thing I'd kind of like to show, I've shown this before, but I use an inch-pound torque wrench when I'm all done, and I torque them to the manufacturer's specification. Also, when I get all done with this thing, always remember to grind the ends of the spokes off so that you don't end up poking a hole in a tube. Even though you put that rim band on, those spokes are going to start protruding, and you don't want to take a chance on that. It's too dangerous. Okay, so the next thing I did want to show again is this is a little, what they call a torque adapter, which you can get from just about any tool truck. This one happens to be a snap-on. It could just as easily be a Mac. But it's on an exactly 1-inch center that I put this notch in it. I cut it off. It was a broken tool. I cut it off. I filed that notch in it, and that fits on my inch-pound torque wrench. Pretty wonderful. Okay, so I think that's it for the wheel. I don't think we need to show me truing it again because we've already shown how to true a wheel. I just wanted to demonstrate how to move one over on its hub. Okay, so that's it for now. And until next time, I'll see you out on the road.